Hi, I'm Christina, and welcome to another episode of Health, Wealth, and Happiness, Interviews to Inspire. This episode is sponsored by Everyday Kids Travel, a kids and parents travel review site. Our next guest is a dynamic individual who seamlessly juggles multiple roles with persistence and passion. From being an MC, host, and event planner to excelling as a digital marketer, business development strategist, and dedicated mother, Madhuri's journey is a testament to her unwavering and commitment and relentless drive. With the right mindset and unshakable confidence, she knows that nothing is impossible for her. Poised to achieve great things, driven by her ambition, resilience, and the support of her loved ones, we welcome our next guest, Madhuri.
Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for the jaw-dropping content about me. It's such a long intro you gave me. Thank you so much for welcoming on board with you. And it's really a great opportunity for me to, come as a guest on your podcast channel. And ever since I read your message, I was so ecstatic. And, I wanted to come on your show and share my exuberant journey. Basically, you can call it an inspiring story for your viewers and audience. So hi, everyone. This is Madhuri Oberoi, and I'm a digital marketer. Also, I'm an entrepreneur. And when I say I'm an entrepreneur, that dissects into my studies, meeting, incentive, conferences, and exhibitions, alongside with destination weddings. Destination weddings, as per the Taylor concept, also, when we talk about the vernacular creativity that comes at par when I talk about my destination wedding planning. So from here, I would be sharing my secret tips, my stories, my failures, also, my ups and downs, just to make you more inspired and more enthusiastic to propel on your journey ahead. Okay, when I talk about my qualification, I have done my master's in journalism and mass communication from Amity University, Noida. And from there, I got a student exchange program opportunity from earning a scholarship at Kent State University, Ohio, USA. So I think there we reconcile as a common concept because even you are an ex-student of Kent State University, and we have found common grounds over there. So marching from there, I got greater opportunities for public speaking, sports anchor, and to top it all, I got an amazing opportunity to interview Barack Obama in 2013. And that was, acing up my career and leveling up to next. Basically, give me a groundwork for working on my journalism and mastering skills of communications. So elevating from there, I worked in for a year and a half there in US, and I came back, heading to back in India, worked with various brands. There were many other projects on which I worked as an MC, as a spokesperson, as a speaker, as a concept creator. And when I start talking about my mice and wedding project, that was a time when I thought of, being an entrepreneur while I was working at the job. I thought of, expanding my horizons and entering into a zone where I can excel and avail the opportunities more at ground level, because creativity and communications encompassing to confidence, that's my jewel, or I would call my accessory, which I wear. And nevertheless, I always believe in, never giving up concept. Whatever comes to my way, whether I'm able to achieve it or I'm able to surpass it as a failure, I believe in going ahead. I never look back. I'm a very strong and versatile person who believes very strongly about my own self, that I know what I want exactly. And if I'm not able to achieve it, I know by how I can, find the alternate or substitute ways for it.
Madhuri's health word is well-being, and about emotional and physical being part of that well-being. How do you keep such a positive outlook on life for your own well-being?
Extremely good question, because I think your podcast really focus on a very, very innovative concept about mental health and physical well-being. When I talk about health, the moment I listen to word health, two things crop up to my mind, and there are basically mental well-being and physical well-being. When I say mental well-being, probably in very many cultures, it's very stigmatic to talk about your mental well-being. Even people are not really aware about the mental health. So what I strongly feel is, mental health plays a vital role in keeping a calm and pertaining to a balance of your mind. So when you have happy thoughts, when you have negative thoughts, it's really very important that you maintain a jargon of balance in between two. So mental well-being, I do my spiritual elevation. I believe in meditation. I believe in my spiritual chanting. I believe in reading my books. I believe in striving for a walk. I believe in, sleeping over about the issues which are really crowding my mind, to come out from the chaos, that mental depression kind of a state. I strongly believe that I need to, reinvent in my own mind and bring up that confidence, which was actually getting pulled down because of some of the negativities around. When I talk about the negativities, it can be anything, happening around in your aura, or happening with you, with your relationship or connections, or whatever is happening in country. There was this back, a lot of things which were happening, kind of acid attacks. They were like child molestation, the other social factors which really plays an impact on the mind. And how do I, nourish a positive thought when I listen to a lot of negativity and malice thoughts? My way of channelizing is, giving priority to my mind by keeping a balance and thinking about only the positive notes. What are all the positive connections I've built up by far? What are all the positive words or gratitude? Um, you know, uh, Gratitude is something which comes within. It can never hurt anyone. So my way of expressing a positive thought is being more humble, being more having a heart filled with gratitude towards whosoever is helping you or being kind to you. So my mental well-being plays a very, very strong role, and that helps me build up my confidence, keeping it intact and rebuilding it on the level of, thinking more positive and being more optimistic. When I talk about the physical well-being is always about having a mindful eating pattern. When you have a mindful eating pattern and a walking or an exercise regimen in your schedule or in your daily life, I think that inculcates more of discipline, makes you more clear-headed, and gives you a work-life balance. So when physically you are strong, you are clean, you are, you're able to walk your own agendas, when you're able to run errands for your own activities, then I believe mental health, mental well-being, and physical well-being goes hand in hand. We have to look after for both to keep ourselves completely away from negativity and put ourselves into a seclusion of thoughts where only positivity prevails. So that's my state of, keeping a positive mental attitude towards things and even towards people. Whenever there is any malice activity or someone who is not agreeing to your views, there is a very, very, I would say, a polite way to explain your expression of thought. It's very important to have peace here. When you have peace here, then you will be able to inculcate positive thoughts and think about those things which you would like to do and achieve. Otherwise, if your agendas are not clear and you are cluttered here, the chaos here will bring that chaos out in your life as well. So first, we need to keep here clean. Then we'll be able to, work on our agendas. And even more creativity will come to you. You will be more creative, more beautiful thoughts will pop in, and you will realize that you're actually evolving when you are actually very balanced in your own mind.
In your work life, have you noticed a difference in what you're able to offer now with giving people balance and being able to say, okay, let's take this back a notch and get to that clear mind so we can get through the next stage.
Being in an industry where creativity is supreme and, where I need to be more creative every day for meeting the potential agendas, what I face is a lot of, chaos and a lot of disappointments coming from the other people. When I say it can be a client expectations which is not getting met. An agenda is a goal is defined, but somewhere I am lacking behind, that I'm not able to meet up to that deadline or a timeline. So working under pressure is really of greater cost to me, because when I am working under pressure, when I have to meet timelines, when I have to meet certain expectations of a client, I need to have a very clear state of mind. I cannot really, falsify a situation wherein I can have my own illusions and, moving away from reality and building up my own castle of thoughts wherein, I'm not able to give any execution to it. So what I plan is I do manifestation, I do my writing. When I do my writing, when I do my journaling, I prefer writing situations, or even as far as the client's expectations are being demanded, I write up those in my diary and plan it. So that is how I keep it away from the clutter and the chaos. That when I know the timelines, when I know the agenda is pretty clear in my mind, then accordingly, I can one by one, I can plan and put it to ethos about the creativity, which will bring out the true colors of optimization, of positivity. When I talk about the well-being of this art, that, how I maintain it, how I manipulate with my own expectations, because whenever I'm doing a project, there is a level of expectation from my end as well before I compete with the outside world, before I, enter into the realm of understanding the other person's expectation. I have my own benchmark. So just to meet that benchmark, what I do is I explore the opportunities. I explore more avenues. I believe in evolving at every stage, where I can learn, unlearn. And for that matter, I prefer reading books. That gives me a more clear version of what exactly my creativity wants to bring in. So I refer to books, I refer to Google sources, I refer to, various themes and analogies wherein I can understand different variation of thought can process, wherein, I can get more clarity, hands-on experiences, reading stories, the inspiring stories from other people, that how they handle stress and failures. So, that gives me more motivation and confidence to boost up my own journey, or kind of a feather added in my cap, because, when I read someone else's journey, that really leaves me in an awe that my journey is nothing compared to the person whom I'm really giving time to the piece of article he has written for himself. So blogging, that is something which I really refer to. And while maintaining a balance, I strongly feel that, I take breaks to understand and to break the monotony of the work as well.
And if you had to give advice to somebody who is struggling right now with trying to find their balance of well-being, what advice would you give?
See, one advice which I have been following, which I was also being given to me, failures never define you. What comes after failure and what you choose to do after that failure, that defines you. So never let a failure define you, because whenever I get failed in any of the tasks given or appointed, I believe in rising up and, not giving up. The moment you thought of giving up and not trying again, that is the situation which is defining you. Wear your confidence as a jewelry, as your own accessory, just to, bring up that panache, that, okay, that she is someone who has that confidence in her, no matter what situation she has faced, or no matter how badly she has been affected from the circumstances she was into, she has battled it. She has gone further. My personal advice is never let any failure cling to your heart or mind, because once, I'll just give you an illustration for this, very, very good example. If you talk about, a bird if a bird would like to fly and you put 2 to 3 kgs of weight on her claws, will you see that the bird will be able to fly? No, the bird would not be able to fly. So that is what baggage. Baggage on your mind will never, never let you go up, rise up in life. Never let any baggage cluttering your mind or being there on your shoulders or being there taking up space in your life. Because when you clear those baggages from your life, you will be able to achieve what task is there. You'll be free. So freedom of thought and expression is really a game changer.
Madhuri's wealth word is experience. And you have a wealth of experience because one can look at your resume and your life and wonder, how have you accomplished so much with your knowledge, your wisdoms, and the connections that you've created in your life so far? How do you do it?
It's a matter of chance that, someone really, advancedly said that destiny is there, you play it the way you like it. So I am a destiny's child. I believe in writing my own chapters. I believe in taking my own paths, especially taking paths which are not being taken, and then maybe probably leaving a legacy behind for people to get, inspired, enthralled, and probably follow the same path what I have taken. So when I talk about the versatility of my work, the kind of experience and exposure I've got, A was, a thing about was my communication skills and the confidence. So these two things, which were kind of a knack of my entire potential, I channelize it. Just the way I mentioned that, the kind of enthusiasm I had for a neurosurgeon when I was just a student, +2 student. I always wanted, I grew up my childhood completely was swamped up amongst the doctors. My maternal family is full of doctors and surgeons. So I have grown up, seeing those doctors all around me, got really inspired by them, how they are, how kind they are, and how helpful they are thinking about others' lives. I always wanted to be a neurosurgeon, but apparently when I took that medical stream in my kind of, chosen school by me itself, I couldn't crack that percentile requirement. As I mentioned, that it was 2% less, which what I scored. Scored a 90%, and 92% was something, actually, they were giving admissions to the medical students. So there, a dream was dropped, but not dead. So I thought of, taking up some other line and channelizing my inner, calling of doing something, which again, take my creativity hands in hands. I always wanted to do something which stands out, wherein I can voice up my opinions, where I can express my freedom of thought. So that is why I chose a stream of journalism and mass communication, because I thought, there I will find out kind of voices, kind of storytelling, kind of, my kind of passionate line wherein I can install upon, write upon the stories. The creativity has no benchmark here. So from there, I picked up into various departments, trying my hands to learn as much as I can. Started with news channels, started writing scripts for them, done and dusted. Therein went to US for the public speaking exchange program, and did a lot of interviews there, even the university delegate interviews. As for now, until date, if I count heads of how many people I've interviewed, it would be more than 200 or 300 plus. Multiplying on the aptitude number for foreigners amongst that would be 150 to 200. So that was my count. Interviewing people, knowing about their lives, and especially voicing up the opinions any activist would take up to any causes like women empowerment, women security, cleanliness. So these were the 3 topics which I took up on my journey when I was there in US, and I did a project training on them. Women empowerment, women security were very vital to me because back then I was staying in Ohio, and my experience there was extraordinary. I have never experienced that back in India. So there were, mass thefts, there were crime cases, there were so much of negativity prevailing at that point of time. And especially there were positives as well. which I wanted to capture as a story, to understand the dynamics that how the country is unfolding various categories of promising things to make it, uplifting for a person to probably capture it in my camera and create it in a story way. So I did a lot of, stories on women empowerment, women's security, how the entire Ohio and even the US prospects keeps it so clean, how the college campus keeps a vibrant homecoming celebrations. So this was again the fourth topic of my project. So these were the things which I catered to, and I came back to India with a lot of experience in my hand doing the BBC anchoring, also as a sports news anchor. My versatility was there already added in my resume. So when I came back, I was too fickle-head wherein to start from. So I just went up to the interview and I got selected. There is no return. From there, I started learning a lot of things about entertainment industry, Hollywood and Bollywood projects, which I have catered to, written scripts overall, thought of doing, really very big category of events, probably a product launch event, probably a corporate themed event, or probably a very big scale concert. So I was basically organizing. I was in the production part, gradually hauling onto and then reaching the brand ambassador. So these were all bullet heads adding to my resume and adding laurels to my cap. As I was understanding various things, they were all coming to me as new projects, and I was trying to learn and encompass them and try to able to achieve it the way as my job prospected. Due to various reasons, my jobs didn't really last longer. Max to max 1.5 or 2 years. Every job varied, and due to various reasons, I used to probably change line or thought of doing something more to break the monotony, or that thing of getting that vertical growth in my mind really catered here. So I was thinking to do something really big, something which stands out. So then I realized of doing my own project, and Seven Vows, a planned kiosk. That's the complete name of my organization. I started back then while I was working already for a job. And there I did a lot of destination wedding projects, catering to many destination locals like Dubai, Turkey, Thailand, Singapore. Also here out in India, many various cities like Jaipur, Chandigarh, Mumbai. So they were like very renowned projects which I got hold of and tried executing them with a very grander and larger scale. That was a hands-on experience, and I've had a team of around 25 people by then. That was a big team to manage because it was basically having 4 different departments and then running them, probably from various locations while I was communicating, because when I'm traveling for my project, there is a lot to be managed back end. So managing everything and even flying for other various projects was really a challenging task, which I did overcome, and I did it with power, and I did it with astute grace. So I was thinking that if I'm capable of this, then why not something next, something more bigger? So that's how I started evaluating my own journey. I always do. When I'm capable of something, I believe that this is done and dusted. I need to grow out. I need to learn, because when I see teenagers around now, there is a generation gap. I, being a millennial, now Gen Zs are running over. They have a lot in their hand and they have a lot on their plate. So we tend to learn from them. I try to learn everything. Each woman I cross by, each man I cross by, I try to learn many things from people. I cross by on meet, I make connections, I build networks. So there and then I made strong connections with the tourism ministers, with the, I would say, travel and tour operators, with travel DMCs, and did a very good job that I was being renownedly called as a youngest entrepreneur. I was being awarded by as the youngest entrepreneur. That was coming to a surprise to me, because I just went for a MICE event, and there I was being announced as the youngest entrepreneur by ICICI Lombard Prudential. That was something, which left me in awe-inspiring state that I did not expect that. I was way too young. I was 22 by then. So from there, I thought of, taking this further. I thought of finding more investors. I thought of expanding this. In the middle of something, all of this was happening. Um, um, Luckily, my father thought of, doing my marriage. Also, that initial stages of your marriage needs a lot of attention, a lot of patience, a lot of communication. So that was taking all of my mind and energy, and I was not able to, divide it parallelly. There was something which was making me fail every time I used to do it. So that pushed me way behind where I was before marriage. 2019 was the year of, when I failed, that I actually failed miserably, that my entire project and everything was gone down. So it was completely sabotaged. And I thought of, there is nothing. I have to think of something new now. So there and then I did not get disheartened. I thought of, picking up another line. I changed my line and I did my digital marketing course. And from Skill Circle, I did. And I aced it. I got a scholarship there. And immediately after completing my course, I was doing a job as well, because I got a job before I enrolled for the course. So that was going in parallel, and I was faring well in the job as well. From there, motherhood stepped in. I think God had some other plans for me. So I took a break. There and then I thought of, that's okay. I think this needs more time and attention. Probably career can wait. So I took a break. That break took me really very longer, because I was not able to find a substitute to my own self. That I thought of, motherhood plays a pivotal role in my career and my entire journey of life, something which I have not experienced it, and I wanted to experience it very closely. That was my happiness state. When I talk about your podcast, the kind of happiness state I was into, I now wanted to come out of that. I was extremely very blessed and happy, and it took me a little longer. Usually women starts by 6 months, or they don't give that much grace period, but I thought of giving more than 2.5 years. Although I was working from home, I didn't leave my home. I simultaneously kept working from home as well. Resuming on physically happened after 3 years. So basically exchanging hats and, understanding various roles and maintaining different synergies with people made me more capable, made me more a voracious speaker, made me more, versatile to come out and be the way I am today. And my confidence, yes, it did halt for a while when I was, in my state of failure. But somehow I did put myself together, and there is nobody around who will tell you what to do. My mother has been my constant motivation. My father and my sister has been the pillars of strength, who counsel me and who tells me the right way, that what I'm capable of. And because of my three pillars, even my husband, for that matter, he has been really an understanding partner who has, been with me throughout the entire journey. And, the best possible thing was I was able to keep a balance in my mind. I was happy there. I was contented here. I had that, convulsions here that, I could not complete, or I could not take that project of my 7 vows ahead, which I wanted to, expand it. But nevertheless, it's a dream dropped, not dead, as I always say. I'll try to, manifest it again, or come up with something really new. I am really planning something bigger now this time. We'll be announcing soon once this podcast gets released. So I'm going to launch my own podcast as well, probably by next year, but it is still a finger crossed thing. And I am basically, someone who's actually healing from my own failures, and then being more kind and humble and having gratitude, maybe something else. A door is never closed. It's always opening to the next other side.
And finding it is like no other gain of wisdom than anything else other than life. Yeah.
Truly, truly, truly said.
Sylvia Torstein here on Health, Wealth, and Happiness. Thank you for inviting me. Wealth. These places right here. See this? Oh my goodness. Wealth. Sometimes wealth can buy you the things, these are going to be 6.5 to 14.5 M. That means millions. That's wealth. Indeed. But you know what else is also wealth? That you can just do that for free and have the wealth in here, living in nature. You can make a few friends that live over here, or rent here, or there. But you know what? Find your wealth in your life and your lifestyle. I'm Sylvia saying, enjoy today. Madhuri, your happiness is a state of mind, freedom of thought and expression, contentment in oneself, and to quit complaining and have gratitude. Tell us how you have been able to reach this state of mind in your happiness.
Yeah, until I say that I've done and dusted, there is nothing which I've achieved in personal. So there's always, circumstantial, situational, that, where happiness has to be in your mind. That is the contentment in your mind. If you're a happy soul, you'll be able to give happiness. If you're happy inside, you'll be able to give happiness outside. So what I believe is in self-happiness, self-care, without complaints, being more full of gratitude. That's my wealth. Wealth is, see, health, wealth, and happiness. They're all very, very interconnected. See, wealth is my knowledge of wisdom, experience by far I've gained, introducing to the fact that, why I did all of this, why I built up the connections, why I have had, those positive affirmations coming to my mind. And that is only because I had that state of mind of achievement or accomplishment. So there is a level of accomplishment right here. When I experience something, that this is my agenda, this is what I need to achieve. And when these two things meet, that is the kind of contentment which I get in here in the mind. So as I spoke very well about my experience exchanging hats and how I gained wisdom, as it is very truly said that, wisdom comes with age. But what if I say every time, you should not act your age, you should not act your shoe size, you should act your age. This is what, I've been oftenly using it to people that, there are many, many situations and different category of people you meet where your thought of process do not match to the other person. So it's not that you disagree to the opinions. It's not that you match a vibe. What is important is you keep your opinions. You do voice up your opinions, but do it in a very polite way. So that is what putting across your point. I believe in voicing up everything which knocks your head down. So my idea of happiness or pursuit of happiness is, having the ideology in mind that once you're contented with your own self, I think there is nothing beyond which can match up to your vibe. I did not plan to get married because I wanted to find my better house. I am wholeheartedly very much accomplished and completed. I wanted to get associated with a partner who can walk hand in hand with me. So there is, women, especially out in India, who's been trained in a way that, they are the second-class citizens and they have to be really very much dependent on men for their pursuit of happiness. No, I strongly disagree for this because, the kind and the state of mind you want to dwell into, you have to create your life with your own hands. You don't want to get dependent on anybody. It's in your hand. This is your state of happiness. My mother has always told me, till the time someone else is financing your expenses, you will remain dependent. So it's better you start earning for your own self and then be more independent in your thought process, in your decision making, and in your parameters of life, catering to whatever challenges you are facing on your everyday life. So I have always brought up in a way that, I have to be more independent and satisfied and feel whole and complete. So once I have that, thought imbibed in my mind, I know what my capabilities are. I know what my potential are. I know my thin lines, my thick lines. I know my weaknesses, my strengths. Now, what is important is how you plan to put them into execution, how you do not clutter everything, and how you do not get more dependent. So, financial dependence is not something which is meant for women. I think they should get over this thought that they have to be financially dependent. They should be financially more independent. They should be able to take their own decisions. And by far, I think by 21st century we are into. I don't think so. Now even Gen Zs have overtaken, the thought of freedom of expression of thought, and how the earning capacity or the equitable earning income as in comparison at par to men earning. So even when I talk about the kind of growth in which we have seen from rising from patriarchal and orthodoxical thought process to marching into the revolutionary where women have their own say. It's not that women want to voice up because they want to fight, they want to get themselves into a war. No, it's only because they know now what are their dependencies are, what their conversions are, what their requirements are. Every woman, I think, is capable to fulfill their own requirements or needs or desires. What a person needs, a free state of mind. So when we are actually free in our mind, we are actually contented. So contentment comes from within. We have to really quit complaining about the other person is not faring well with you, the other person is being very negative to you, he or she is not doing what you're expecting from. That's the rat race these days. Partners usually get divorced because they try to nudge each other and they try to pick faults in each other. I believe that we should let other people feel free. We are not someone who have been bought another life. We have not bought a life of a partner. We have to make it very clear that what exactly we want and what exactly we look forward for. So this is what my thought of happiness is, and a kind of pursuit of happiness, where I feel that uh, this really varies as per the parameters that what exactly a person is looking for. For me, my state of contentment is family. Family is there intact. Opinions, whether they matter or no or not, or whether the negative state of the other people, the opinions of other people, what I'm doing right now may not be right by many people. We cannot be a people pleaser always. My idea of happiness is doing my own thing, not disturbing someone else, and not crossing a line, or keeping in my own boundaries and achieving what I am really meant to. So that's my state of happiness. And I believe that many women in today's time believe really very strongly that if you have something on your plate, it's your part to play. You can't hand over that plate to someone else to do it for you. So so that's what I believe, that we do our own task with freedom, with our own decision making sense. Yeah, my state of happiness really varies to my own agendas, to my own goals. And whenever I think I feel accomplished is my happy state of mind, that this is something which I planned and this is something which I have achieved. That gives me a sense of contentment and a relief in my mind that okay, I planned something and I get it. So that's my call.
It's wonderful. It just sounds happy, and the support that you have from your family is wonderful as well. How do you teach your son about happiness for his life?
Very, very inquisitive question. And I think this is really very relevant because these days, what I've seen in children, what they want is they want. There is no to it. So what I would, with the experience as being a new mom, it's been 3 years now. I've been struggling with different phases. No matter if some people can address as a good mom, as a bad mom. I don't believe in a concept of a good mom or a bad mom. Every mom is different. Every story is very different. And every parent is different. The nurturing of a child completely depends upon, the kind of upbringing which you've had. So my only state of making my child keeps away from all the negativity is to tell him to switch onto a ladder of spirituality. So I have inculcated this path for him since his very beginning stage. Probably he was 8 months old. I've taught him to do the chanting. Spiritual elevation gives him probably a peace of mind from the entire day. His avenues, his experiences, his things, his aspirations, his expectations keeps on changing with time. And when he see his peer uh, going haywire or getting different various things and benefits, so he is basically in that compulsive state of comparison. And where even moms, as per se, they have a comparison amongst themselves, because every mom is a blogger now. So everybody is posting their experiences, that do this, do that. That is what they're sharing, their journey. That's how they've been brought up. Their journeys are being, I really give a salute to many, many moms who are actually playing a role of, a blogger, doing a very good role as a mom, and also superiorly handling their job as well. So, catering to the same aspect, even I have an account of my child where I teach him the good deeds, the kind of good deeds, to believe in charity, stating in a very low key area where he believes that he has to stay grounded, stay humble. Teaching them how to stay grounded and stay humble is, explaining him that, okay, this is something we are privileged, and something which the other children who are not really very privileged, the beggars, or probably the underprivileged category of children. So I've actually thought of taking him to NGOs where he can encompass he can actually see people who are not really privileged, like blind school. I've taken him to other charitable institutions where, he get to see other students, other children at his age who are not having those toys and those clothes and that merciful dishes which he's enjoying at place. So basically making him experience what is larger than life. So my idea is to elevate him spiritually. That, I think, will help him eventually to understand, make a wise decision for his own life, and also be happy within himself that, okay, no matter what I've achieved, that's okay, whether he's able to meet up the standards of his own manifestations. But he knows that mama is there and she's going to, be a helping hand for whatever. If I'm going wrong, he asks me, is it right, mom? Because even today he was asking me, which is left and right, which is left and right. So I was saying that, there are certain things, even right and wrong, you need to understand, because right and wrong, something, again, my right is different, but it can be varied as further he meet a lot of other new people. Right and wrong, every perspective is right, as I feel. Every human has their own perspective, and that is right for them. What I told him is, happiness is a state of mind where if you have something, be contented. Don't ask for more, because, these days children are very, very greedy. They want everything. Greed is something, I narrate him good book stories where greed has been emphasized, where anger is being emphasized. I make sure that the bedtime stories I read to him, it should be of vitality, which impacts his mind, that, what takes more space? Good deeds, kindness, honesty, respect. I have taught him this today itself, that, if you start respecting the time of others, your time will be respected. So,
If you could give the gift of health, wealth, or happiness, which one would you give and why?
I would prefer giving wealth and happiness, and also a category of health as well. See, wealth, when I talk about health and happiness is something, happiness, something which I can spread onto. So, commencing on the first thought is the wealth. My wealth is knowledge, wisdom, experience, my journey, my ups and downs, something which I can share and probably, make the other person read through or go through the journey I have experienced by far, and probably gives a hands on experience, learning experience, to evolution, to manifestation, to growth, to channelize the energies in a very positive affirmation state. So something which I can give and given as a kind of a gift to someone, if I can inspire someone, and while I'm talking to you, probably if I believe that I can inspire you in any possible way, I will be more than happy to do it. And when I talk about happiness, happiness is something, I'm really very contented in my own self. Um, yes, I have seen harsh failures in life, but my state of mind is always positive. I don't know why my husband keeps on telling me that, why are you so positive in life? There are situations where things won't go your way. So I tell him, that's okay. I'll make my new way. So he always tells me that you don't keep any plan B. You don't have any plan B options. Even for that matter, my dad has been always telling me that, keep your savings, don't spend everything. You don't think about future, you only think about present. So what I tell him that, I am really very happy in this present state I am. He says, yes, it's good to be positive, but what next? What if there is a situation of misery ahead? How are you going to handle that? So my answer to him is that, if I'm a God's child, if I have written my own chapters of my destiny, if something upholds in future, which is again a negative chapter, probably, nothing knows. There's a positive and negative both in the life. If I am able to battle it today, I have the confidence and the capacity to battle it ahead as well. So that is my right confidence. I would not call it overconfidence. I would call it the right balanced state of my mind.
We have a question from our previous guest.
Where is the one place that you would visit on the planet if you had $1 million?
I would love to explore a planet which is unexplored. A place where nobody has gone by for. Probably some newer venues to cater to, climbing a new ladder and exploring different ways, leaving a legacy behind there, starting a life there. Probably a new planet. Neptune could have been gone by. Venus? What if I may choose Venus because men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So I might pledge to go to Venus and explore life, humanity, their existence of human, and I would spend a very lavish life if I'm yet to explore it.
Wow, Madhuri, I have learned so many fascinating things about you. I honestly don't want this interview to end because your life is so unique, so inspiring. You have so many stories that if people aren't tuning in, wow, they need to. They need to listen to your courage, your never stopping gumption. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your story.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it was really an equal pleasure for me to speak with you at a very, very, very vast topic and a very informative topic, which is really very relevant in today's time. Health, wealth, and happiness. I really wish you a very, very, very good luck with your podcast, and may you bloom really very well, because you are actually giving a platform to women to speak out their inspiring stories and melt away the emotions, negative emotions and conversions, if anyone would have. And it's a great thing what you are doing, and I'm really proud of you as a woman, because I really strongly appreciate women. Even I have read your story. It's remarkable and very close to mine, because you also have a very versatile experience. So I'm really very proud to be your guest. And thank you so much for addressing me as what you've addressed me in a very long biography. Thank you. Thank you so much.